Hell the way, I ignore the hate. Big money for the grill, that's expensive taste. Beyonce, pour up lemonade. I'm a
One. Yo, what's going on, everybody? We're back. We was on our hiatus. This is After Hours Live with Man Cave. This is your host, Tay Wiggs.
And your co-host Marc Sr.
We've been gone for a minute, but we back. Sorry, we had a hectic schedule. You know how it is. Working, kids, school. First and foremost, Marcus, NBA bubble. The NBA ratings are down, which was going with the COVID-19 stuff like that. But as these activities been going on, like myself, I know you're a fan of the game as well. The first game of the NBA Finals, to you as a fan, how would you rate it from an A to an
I give it. I give it a C.
F?
Just because the Lakers kind of walked away with it. It wasn't as competitive as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as a lot of trash talk as I know Miami can do. They're a real grimy and gritty team. Led by Jimmy Butler. You got Jay Crowder. He never hold his tongue. You just got a lot of guys on that team. That's scrappy, and they didn't really bring the fight. That first quarter they did. They got up to 25, and then it was like a light bulb went off for the Lakers, and they put the clamps on them. And it was no more fun in Miami. It was no more fun in the sun for them. It got real serious real quick. So I give it a C, man. I think the Lakers played at an A level, but I think the Miami Heat played more like at a D or maybe even an F. Besides that first quarter.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I can be honest about it too. I would say I give it about a B minus.
Okay.
For the NBA Finals. Just because the reason I gave it a B, it's not the same. The fans, you talking about playing the first game of the NBA Finals with the Miami Heat would have been on the road playing in LA their first game.
Yep.
And when you play in LA, the lights hits different. So you already know they got their star status people in the front row, from Denzel to whoever it may be from the Kanye West and stuff like that. Oh, I can't forget about Jack Nicholson. That's a slap in the face. You don't mention him all time. So you're looking at that type of game on that spectrum. But the overall play I did like. I just gave it a C minus, like a C minus because there was no fans. I think the players feed off that, and I think the Miami Heat came out early, gunslinging. Jimmy Butler hitting threes from each wing. Bam was playing really great. I thought that this ain't the same Lakers team I've been watching in the playoffs. We know these Lakers, the current Lakers, 2020 Lakers, normally lose the first game that they play in a series. And
True.
Before this series started, I had the Lakers. My heart was telling me 4. Honest God, my heart was telling me 4.
4.
5. Gentlemen sweep. But my heart telling me 4, and my mind is saying something else. Normally they say always follow your heart.
Right.
Your heart is destined. So I'm gonna take the Lakers in 4 if the Lakers come with that same energy.
I gotta agree with you because with the news that Dragic got the torn plantar fasciitis. He Bam, got the separated shoulder or whatever they calling it. They both doubtful for game 2. If those guys can't play, that's bad news. It'll be over in 3 if they ain't playing because they really like they kind of like the secret weapon of their team, Bam and Dragic. Dragic is a speedy player. He getting to the cup. He making decisions quick. Bam, high energy. He the only guy that can really probably stay in front of Anthony Davis. So those are 2 things, besides Bam. But Dragic, the Lakers ain't really got nobody to kind of bring that type of energy at the 2 guard or at the point at any guard spot. So he would have had an advantage. And then, with Dragic and Bam, you know, they secret weapon is that pick and roll.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't out there to do it. It's just gonna be all Jimmy, and we know Jimmy is Mr. Fourth Quarter. He really, you know, first through three, you know, 1 through 3, he kind of chill. You know, he do his normal. But if it's all on him, you know, Andre Iguodala can't do that. You know, we saw what happened to him in 2016 trying to guard LeBron. You know, that back went out. Tyler Hero, the rookies, they ain't doing it. You know, LeBron was picking on Tyler Hero, so it's gonna be sad if they guys hurt.
Right, because I was saying the same thing too. You missing, you said Dragic, which I thought was really coming on for the Miami Heat, which he was in the bubble games in the I would say the primary 8. When he's playing against those teams, trying to make a way and do what he do. It's because the reason they wrote his coattail for so long, because Kendrick Nunn, he been in the bubble. He was sick or whatever the case may be. But you already know a veteran coach is going to ride who's hot. So at that time, Dragic was hot. You know, Kendrick Nunn before they went into the bubble, he is probably your pick to be Rookie of the Year, to honest spoken. So when you're looking at a guy like a Kendrick Nunn, whose now numbers going to be called up even more to take on a bigger role on one of the biggest stages in sports. You talk about a rookie who has to come off the bench and be a starter now to fill the shoes of a veteran point guard to take on valuable minutes, to be a valuable and productive on the floor. And the same thing for Tyler Hero. Yes, what he did in them other series. This is the NBA Finals. Instant pick up. The grit and the grind is a little bit more harder.
It is.
I'm not going to disrespect the young man. The young man was still hitting some awesome shots, especially that 3-pointer off the side of the glass. So,
oh yeah.
the person that did shock me, I thought Tyler, and I said before, you know, talking to some my other guys I work with, I said the Lakers want to win. You have to beat up the Miami Heat. Just because on the strength of the Miami Heat, we're not strong on the inside. Bam is your only strongest guy. Then 2, you got to keep Tyler Hero off the threes, which I like because they let him get off early. Normally, when he's the type of person, he goes off early. It's going to be a long game for the opposing team. I thought the Lakers did a fabulous job by keeping that young man in his place.
Yep, I agree with that because like you said, if he would have got going like how he kind of did in Boston, you know, and he would have got the what I'm gonna call a hero complex, it would have been it'd probably been a little bit closer. But like you said, the Lakers, they're just too dominant. They put him in his place. They let him know, you know, they been here before. Well, LeBron especially. Like I've been here 10 times, son. You know, it ain't gonna go down like you thought it was. So they kind of held him in check, as well as you know, some of the other supporting cast. You know, the guys that Duncan. You know, he's a sniper. He ain't really get off. You know, they kind of held those guys in check.
Yeah, and the one thing I said, I think the Lakers came out the first. I would think it was the first 5-6 minutes into the first quarter. I said, "Whoa, the Miami Heat." I said, "It's the Heat culture right there."
Right.
I'm looking like the Lakers about to get done real early. Well, after they had that second nationally televised timeout break, the Lakers went to work. LeBron clicked. But the person, to me, who I thought played probably one of the best games I think they had in the bubble is KCP. Contavious
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because KCP, I'm looking like, yo, KCP, you got to hit some shots, bro. You have to hit these open shots. Like, LeBron is giving you good looks, especially playoff Rondo, giving you great looks. And he hit 2 clutch threes to get them whipped back in 8. I said, okay. Ron goes to the whole 8. They could have, like you said, Marcus, they have no answer for Anthony Davis.
Nope. If Bam ain't playing, who they gonna put out there? Myers Leonard? He's not getting it done.
And he thinks he got dunked on by LeBron James and he having that Portland jersey.
No, he ain't getting it done.
I think that was Nurkic that he dunked on.
Oh yeah, that was Nurkic. You're right. But still, it's still the same thing.
Right.
It's still the same.
So you talking about the money he has no center. You talk about giving more valuable minutes to Duncan Robinson.
Mhm.
It's not the same. I mean, Duncan Robinson now had to be more focused inside, grabbing rebounds and paint. Now that was the whole thing I was saying that would gave edge to the Los Angeles Lakers. You got JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis, LeBron James. Those four guys live on the glass. There's no rebounds.
Nope.
There's none.
And none to get. That's,
Then
the Lakers is so deadly on the boards because of those guys you just named.
Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's out there throwing no look passes.
He was.
He was so hyped off giving assists because normally he's the guy on the other end, the recipient,
Right.
other end of getting those points. So him getting you like 4 or 5 assists to go along with 8 rebounds, you're not beating the Lakers, especially when you got a guy like Dwight Howard playing at that type of magnitude.
Nope, not at all. Dwight Howard, he's fitting in very well with the Lakers. I didn't think he was but he is really vital to their team now. He roughed up Nikola Jokic last round. He hurt Bam this round, so he earning his keep.
Hey, Bam ran into a Mack truck. I mean, when he went back, Dwight Howard was still there. He flew back. Once I see him go down like that, I said, I mean, if he was a pitcher, it'd be a torn labor.
Right.
Separated
Tommy
shoulder.
John. Right.
Right. Hey, Tommy John. That was a Tommy Bam right there. Because he got hurt on impact. And that's the Miami Heat. They look real fragile out there. It's a difference when you don't have that high energy guy like a Bam out there getting you those extra points.
Right.
They couldn't get a rebound. They couldn't. I mean, AD in that second half dunked the ball. Boom. He yelled, "It's over." I said, like you said, Marcus, you said earlier, I don't think he should have said that. But still the words from you, he was feeling himself. Like when you have a game like that, when you feel like you can't be stopped, nothing you can do.
You just gotta let it flow. Got like Phil Jackson say, you gotta let the river flow.
Right. And the one thing I like about what the Lakers did, they shot excellent from the free throw line.
Right.
LeBron missed one free throw.
That was the first. That was like one of his best games just because of that reason. He missed one free throw.
He missed one free throw. The boys just 10 for 10 in the first half of free throw line. And now we praise the Lakers so much. Let's talk about the Miami Heat. That's still a good team.
Oh yeah.
Like you said, you down 2 men, possibly 3. But I believe Jimmy Butler will be playing tomorrow night. You're looking at Jimmy buckets, and I'm a huge fan of Jimmy Butler. By the way, when he was in Chicago, when Derrick Rose and Joe Cano, all them guys left, right? He was still the last guy standing.
Mm-hmm.
Coach just said, Jimmy's the problem. Now, I don't think he was the problem. I think what Jimmy was trying to instill in his teammates or his former players, Jimmy Butler wasn't high on nobody's recruiting list. Come out of Tomball, Texas.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
He wasn't a high recruit. He went to junior college. Then got a scholarship to Marquette.
Right.
To Marquette as a walk-on out there playing with Jay Crowder and Wesley Matthews and them guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that was a good team, by the way.
Huh?
I said that Marquette team was a good team.
They were. So you're looking at Jimmy Butler. It was easy for a player like Dwayne Wade to go get him because what they got in common? They both went to Marquette University. Mm-hmm. Jay Crowder went to Marquette University. All these missing is Wesley Matthews. They got Marquette Heat.
Marquette Heat.
So you're looking at Jimmy Butler, what he went through. Jimmy Butler really, like some people, like how what they say, some players say they got out the mud. No, he really
got out the mud.
He got out the mud, that red dirt. He got out there. He got out that red dirt when we got here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know they got it in Texas too. He got it out the mud for real. That make you respect the player and Jimmy Butler, aka James Butler. That's his real name. I know it's James Butler for real too.
Right, we do.
But with Jimmy buckets, what I respect, his rookie year, I think he only averaged like 0.8 points per game.
Wow.
Sophomore year, I think he averaged 2. By his third year, he went from 2 to 12. Then that just every year he got better and better.
Got better and better.
So when he left Chicago and tried to go to Minnesota and try to turn them young boys around and say, man, hey, do it this way. I'm the leader here. Let's win. Andrew Wiggins, they didn't want to follow.
I mean, that was the last time they went to the playoffs, right?
Right.
It was with Jimmy on the team.
Carl Anthony Towns, didn't want to follow. Carl Anthony Towns come up to the type of guy to me, even though he been there longer than Jimmy Butler. I think he came across to me as one of the guys who's like, this is my team. Jimmy can't tell me nothing. That's what I read into how Jimmy Butler was explaining it. He said this. The key word he said, guys don't want to win. That means what he said to me that when guys don't want to win, that means they just there for that paycheck every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So certain guys true champions and true ball players you see, they play for rings. They trying to get better. Certain guys just play for paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a difference. You got your paycheck guys, and you got your ballers. So
Jimmy's a baller.
Jimmy's a baller. When he went to Philadelphia, Ben Simmons didn't want that type of smoke. Joel Embiid was all for it.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
So when Joel Embiid said, I wish we had kept Jimmy, Joel Embiid said that I prefer us to keep Jimmy Butler. In other words, as I'm going to say this, I think Joel Embiid was saying, let's keep Jimmy and trade away Ben. That's how I read into it.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, try to trade away Ben, or let's not re-sign Tobias Harris.
All right.
Pick one. I think either one he would have been okay with going, but keeping Jimmy.
Now, when you're looking at the Sixers GM,
Elton Brand.
How do you think he feel about, hey, we let Jimmy walk away right to the Miami Heat and go to an NBA Finals? All he had to do is trade away Ben Simmons and package up Tobias Harris in the trade.
I think right about now he's feeling indifferent because the news that we both just got before the pod. They just locked up Doc Rivers for 5 years, so they got a Hall of Fame coach. They may have lost Jimmy, but I think given Doc Rivers' track record, he worked with superstars. He gets superstars to work together well.
Right.
He's probably the missing link to get the Ben and B experiment to be at his best potential. If it don't work out in year one with Doc and whatever coaching staff he bring, whether it be Alvin Gentry or other former head coaches in this league, if it don't work out, somebody getting traded next year.
Right.
So if they don't make it far, they don't get it to like the conference finals, if they get kicked out, first round, second round, somebody getting traded between Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. They ain't keeping both of them for longer than next year.
Well, you kind of scared me at first. You said Doc Rivers got locked up for 5 years. I said, oh, what Doc do? I know what he did. He lost game 7. You scared me for something like, hey, Doc Rivers got 7. He about to get locked up for 5 years.
5 years for 5 years, doing 5.
I'm about to say he got locked up for 5 years and took Steve Ballmer money.
That's what it really embezzling. That's what he got locked up for.
You're looking at Doc Rivers coming to the Philadelphia 76ers. And that coaching staff, if he bring along Alvin Gentry. Because at first, I thought Tyronn Lue was one of the head candidates too, as to get that Philadelphia 76ers job.
Mm-hmm.
So if he bring him over to Philadelphia, you got nothing but the Philadelphia Clippers.
True. True. Yeah. So I think Ty Lue may he may get bumped up. You know, he may be the Clippers' next head coach.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of vacancies out there. You know, you got New Orleans, you got Houston. You know, it's a lot of coaching job, high profile coaching jobs. You
Oh,
know,
the
and Ty
Indiana
Lue is a
Pacers.
championship coach. Yeah, yeah.
Nick McMillan, he got the boot too.
Oh wow. See, I didn't even know that.
I don't think he's
I
in
didn't.
Indiana right now. I think they,
Uh,
if I'm not mistaken, I think they let Nick McMillan go. If I'm not mistaken,
oh,
on that type of situation. But it's kind of weird though, looking at the NBA and the coaches. Like if you got like one good playoff run or a bad playoff run, you blow a 3-1 lead, you get axed. And the reason people like, Doc should never got fired, he never got a fair shot. I'm like, Doc got a fair shot. He traded with at the time. We didn't even talk about when he was a GM. He let DeAndre Jordan walk. He let Chris Paul walk. So you talk about a lot of stuff that goes together. You can't be a coach and a GM because you can't be a GM and trying to do business moves and still trying to coach these players. And on the back end, on the burner side, deep down inside, you're either going to cut this player or you're going to trade him and let him walk. So you only can do one thing. You can't wear them many hats like that. Only a principal can do that, and a principal at a school can't make a rational decision. But anyway, so back to this basketball story with Doc Rivers. I believe that Doc Rivers will probably make a move and try to trade away Ben Simmons.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, don't be surprised if Lou Williams go back to Philly and play with Doc. Because Lou Williams is a free agent, I believe. He's a free agent at the end of the season. Because we know Montrez is a free agent too. So I think Steve Ballmer's probably going to blow that team up and probably keep his two investments. I was going to say Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Now, if the other guys walk, you talk about starting over. I thought the Lakers pretty much robbed the Clippers and gave them Zubac and you picked up a draft pick. So, me personally, we play in the same building. I'm not making no trades with no Lakers. No way. No way.
Definitely not.
And
yeah, but I can definitely. I don't know. I was gonna say I can definitely see Lou going back to Philly, or even maybe Lou and Montrez. Because I just feel like the Clippers really couldn't play. The 6 man. You know, the Clippers are really just the reigning 6 men of the year. You know, they got Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell. They really couldn't play Montrez. In that Denver series. And I think that ultimately was what got Doc fired because he still played. I mean, that's his guy. He was rolling with him, rolling till the wheels fall off, but he was getting outplayed.
Definitely.
Sad to say the Joker was outplaying him, right? So it could be opening for him to get traded. You know, I know he got a contract here, right? So he got money due to him. I don't know if Ballmer going, if he associate him with Doc Rivers, he ain't gonna want to pay him that bread. So he could be back with Doc.
Yeah, but you get those type of accolades, like say if you made first team NBA, second or third team. If you make the first team, you're entitled to the Supermax. The second NBA team, you're entitled to the max, and the same thing for the third one, you're entitled to the Supermax as well. So you look at a player like a Montrezl Harrell. Now I met him before, like I said, very humble guy, man. You know what I'm saying? What you see on the court, that's on the court, but you get a different totally type of person off the court. And my hat's off to Montrez. I met him and his mom at a Hornets game. And his mom was really, really nice. We sat there and talked for like 10 minutes. It wasn't even about basketball. It was just pretty much about everyday life type stuff. But anyways, when you look at a player like a Montrez, I think like you said, Philadelphia, he gonna want it bad. But I always throw this out here. What if he go play for somebody like the Charlotte Hornets with his homeboy Terry Rozier, which they did play together in Louisville. So you had a type of connection there. It's still a dark horse team. Everybody laughing at the Knicks. The Knicks got the bag. They can pay him. But I always find that one dark horse team out there to grab somebody would be the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets is Will and Dillon. They only said key guys they're going to stick with: KD, Kyrie, and DeAndre Jordan. They want to stick with Karis LeVert and Joe Harris. Pretty much everybody else is on the training block. Terrion Prince, Joe Harris, who I'm missing? Jared Allen.
Right.
Those guys is pretty much on the brinks. When they came when Steve Kerr came out and said, we don't mind, we're gonna have Kevin Durant run some center. That means DeAndre Jordan, that mean they get rid of somebody else. That means Steve Nash, I'm sorry, is going to trying to put more shooters around that team in a certified big. Now, to honestly be spoken, Montrez could be a good fit. Victor Depot, a free agent. We're going to see some things shake up this fall.
That's weird, huh? Shake up this fall.
Look,
instead of summer.
LeBron James talked to Jeremy Grant after that Game 5 loss, and all of a sudden, after that loss, what happened? 2 days later, he opted out of his contract to become a free agent. So LeBron looking like, if you
never know with LeBron. He could be telling him to come to Clutch. He could be telling him to join the Lakers. You never know. That man got so many moves.
Guess what? Guess who contract is up at for the Lakers? Kuzma.
Oh.
And what Kuzma has shown you so far in these playoffs?
I mean, not much. He ain't, what they said he was going to be, the third leading scorer on the team. He really not that.
He played no defense. Mm-hmm. As Gilly Kidd say, play no defense. Don't play no defense. Right. I'm just looking at him like, what do you bring to the table? Like, you play defense with your hands in your pocket. Like, you don't try to go to the block. You don't try to get no rebounds. What I have seen from Kyle Kuzma, if the opposing player that he is guarding, coming on the court, hit a three-pointer, he does the old school playground move. He gets the ball and comes shoot a three and airball it. Play within the system. You will get yours. That's why it's a system for you. You will get yours. You're not running the plays. He's coming down shooting airball threes. Mm-hmm. That's not your game. That Rondo or LeBron set you up. You playing with some of the two unselfish guards in the league.
Right.
Rondo and point forward guard LeBron James. They're going to make sure you get yours.
Yeah, you're going to get shots, open ones.
Now, just on this basketball topic, Paul Pierce said LeBron James, he finally came out of his shell. He said LeBron James win this NBA title. He put him right there, up there with Jordan. He didn't say 1, 2, or 3. He put him right up there with Jordan.
Paul said that?
That's what Paul Pierce said on live. Wow. Jalen Rose got up and shook his hand. He said, now you're speaking the truth.
Now you're speaking the truth.
So when Paul Pierce said, hey, if he wins one, you put him right there up there with Jordan. Wow. So when you heard Paul Pierce, I know you didn't see it, but when I heard Paul Pierce say that, I said, hold on. What you just say, P-Double? I had to go back and call him P-Double because I was calling him Paul at first. He earned that one for me now. I'm calling him P-Double again. I said, P-Double said that? Double P?
Right. Double P.
I said, okay. But he explained it wisely. Look, LeBron won his championship. This will put him right there on Margaret Jordan because what he went through and this would be like a little bit more personal because he beating Pat Riley. But the one thing about what he said Pat Riley can't play, but LeBron James can play. Mm-hmm. So if the Miami Heat lose this game or this series, Pat Riley, as they call him, Riles. I don't know him as Riles. I just know him as the godfather of basketball, Pat Riley. And the culture they got down there for that basketball team is A1. It's like no other. Mm-hmm. They on top of their guys. They got a nutrition guy. They make sure their guys not overweight. Make sure their guys stay there. That's why James Johnson is not in Miami. Can't buy into the Heat culture. He can't maintain weight.
Yeah, can't get that physical upkeep up. Even though he's supposed to be like a black belt or something like that.
Right. And He a black belt. He a fat belt at the time when he was there. Now he's in playing shape now because he's in Minnesota. But when you're looking at that type of culture, what they got going on down there is phenomenal. But back to what we was talking about Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce actually made pretty good sense. You know, I'm a LeBron James guy. Period. People call people LeBron James lovers, bron
Mhm.
sexuals, and stuff like that.
I
I've heard
heard
it
that one,
all.
but okay.
Um, it's the same thing for people like Michael Jordan. I mean, if you got a favorite athlete, you got a favorite athlete.
Mhm.
You got people say, "Oh, Michael Jordan did this on rolling with this with MJ." Not knocking you. That's what you like. I can't make you change your mind.
Right.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Don't get it twisted. Michael Jordan 6 for 6 in the NBA Finals. That's cool. Bill Russell got
Mhm.
11 of them things. They don't. Michael Jordan said, I ain't to go. Bill Russell is. He actually said that before. So you're looking at Bill Russell, 11 championships. I don't care how many teams was it in that league when he played. He still played in a tougher era where black man had to go eat dinner and lunch in the back alley in those days. And not only in those days, in the city where he played it and won those championships. And you're looking at, okay, he won 11 as a player. I mean, overall, he won 11 NBA championships. But he won 2 back-to-back coaches championships, and he won 8 straight as an NBA player.
Wow.
Now, we talk about GOATs. Can our Michael Jordan go do that? Can our LeBron James go do that? Can our Kobe Bryant go do that? Can our Kareem Abdul-Jabbar go do that? We don't know because they never did it.
Mhm. And
They never
we
did
can't
it.
guess the unknown. We can't guess the unknown. I mean, I think it's to take a certain type of person to be a coach anyway, off top.
Yeah.
You can be the greatest player in the world, but you may not have the patience to coach. Like Michael Jordan he has no patience, no patience. He
Oh,
would have been a terrible coach.
if you messed up in that season, you probably gonna be traded the first game of the season. You ain't even make the trade deadline.
Nope.
So when you looking at that type of status, you gotta go Bill like number one, Kareem number two. Then you come with your MJ's, Kobe's, and LeBron's, and your Magic Johnsons, because you get that Kareem another one. I think that dude won what 3 NCAA titles. He got
He's like
5
one of
NBA.
the most winningest players ever.
He's the most winningest player ever in probably in basketball history. Like
Right.
you're looking at and we talking about big men. These are centers.
Mm-hmm.
Wilt Chamberlain, not Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, aka Lou Alcindor. These guys paved the way for those guys to get where they gotta go. I hate when people come on TV like Stephen A. Smith or Bill Russell played in the league when there was only 9 teams. I keep saying it before. When he said Maya Moore is one of the greatest players of all time in WNBA history, and the first thing I said, she played in a league where there's 12 teams. How do you forget the Cheryl Swoops, the Cynthia Coopers, the Lisa Leslies, who paved the way for the young Maya Moores and people like that, not the Tina Thompsons, but the younger generations that come in to put an imprint on the game, like Candace Parker and you
Mm-hmm.
know, I can go on and on because I actually watched WNBA, Delisha Milton, all these type of women. These type of women look up to those women who paved the way for them they can play. So when
Right.
Stephen A. Smith get on TV talking about they only played in the league in 9 years, the WNBA did too. The WNBA team don't get that much respect as the NBA players do. Like their seasons start late, their games come on later, or their games come on Sunday at 2 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's different when you put a football game on. They out there battling, hitting, but you got the WNBA trying to compete with a baseball slot, Thursday night
Well,
football. That's
right.
hard. That's hard.
Very tough.
But as I went to a WNBA games years ago when they had them in Cleveland, the Cleveland Rockers, them girls played tougher than some guys in the NBA.
Absolutely.
So
I went to a Rockers game or two myself, so I know they're just as skilled. If not, if in my opinion, some of the women are more skilled because the physical stature. Women may not be as big or or had a girth as a man would, but
Right.
they know they got good footwork. None of their jumpers look janky when I watched. So
Nah, straight
um,
money.
so it's crazy to me because women's college basketball is so much more popular than the WNBA. And some would even say is more interesting than a watch. And I just don't know why they don't correlate to professional.
Mm-hmm.
People are die hard for Tennessee, the Lady Vols, but not so much of the LA Sparks. So it's like, where's that correlation? Why is it not as hype as the college game?
What the crazy thing is too, I piggyback on what you even said. College football is more popular than NFL football. Now I can see why college sports is better. I mean, I work with a gentleman, one of my old managers I used to work for. Um, I asked him. I said, "Do you watch professional sports?" He said, "Nah." He said, "Just like that." He said with an attitude. I said, "Why you say like that?"
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Dante, the reason I do not watch professional athletes, they are overpaid crybabies." He said they don't play with the love of the sport like they did in high school and college. College, they're gonna play hard because they want to be that, like you said, they want to be that number one or the top five picks in their profession to where they gotta go in the NBA and the NFL. Because I don't watch it. Because I like college sports better because they play more intensity and they said they playing their hearts out whenever they play. He said they get to the NBA, they don't come with that same passion and fire. He said if you look at an NBA game, he's only about 7, 8 guys every night that play with that passion. He said that's kind of terrible when you got 8 guys playing with that passion on a
Right.
professional level.
It's
I
like
made that
30
joke
guys on them.
earlier. I made a joke earlier and said guys play for that paycheck Wednesday. That's what he was
Mm-hmm.
referring to.
Mm-hmm.
So when you watch how many games that you come on TV you will watch and be like, oh, I'm gonna change this game. Basketball, like, nah, I don't watch that. Nah, I'm cool. Nah. But college basketball, it could be Arizona State playing Pepperdine. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna watch Iona State play Iowa State. You're gonna watch Cleveland State play Oakland University. You're gonna play it because you want to see. I'm hearing that this guy on ESPN scoring 25 a game. That's what he about. You
Mm-hmm.
change the game. What happened? It's just like a Jimmer Fredette.
Right.
He can't.
It was a
He came
phenomenon.
on late in the West Coast playing at BYU, and they call him Eric Jimmer. This dude was shooting shots from the logo.
Sure enough was.
It's a different mood when you watch college basketball. The rivalry is a rivalry.
It is truly a rivalry. And you got
Yeah.
especially now, because the NBA, the player can be on a team one year, next year he on a
He's
completely
gone.
different coast. Right.
And it's so crazy how the player says be loyal. Not knocking them. When they say just be loyal. But if you was in the era like in the 90s, early 2000s, you got guys that set the bench on one team for 9 years. But man, he been in the team for 9 years. What
Riding
does
that
he
pie.
do? That's the loyalty right there. Because, like I said, Marcus, it's always a hit or miss. These new teams of this generation don't have a real veteran guy on the bench that been around a couple of teams and that been on the team for 10 years. They finally come to a team and make it his home. The last person to do that was Vince Carter. Vince Carter chose to stay in Atlanta so he can groom the young guys because he
I
said there
mean,
was no OGs.
you can look at a team in the finals right now. You got UD, Don Sasson. He's a Miami Heat lifer. All he do is talk to the young guys. I mean, he don't never play, but he's in that huddle like clockwork.
All right. Speaking of Udonis Haslam, like you said, Heat lifer. The camera kept coming on him a bunch of times, trying to get his guys in the right spot, which I thought only people who know how to guard LeBron would be him, Iggy, those type of guys with the championship experience. No, I was watching Iggy. Iggy was making LeBron James give the ball pretty quickly last night in certain situations on the floor. Because when you play somebody so many times in the NBA Finals, like last night was his sixth straight NBA Finals. So when
Right.
you're in the NBA Finals and you see a certain player 5 years, 5 times of the 6 years, you pretty much know. I know what this guy like to do. And like he said before that series started, he said, if you mess up, LeBron James gonna make you pay.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, like a player like LeBron James, you him. It's hard to knock a guy like that off his rocker, especially when you get it going. When he's deep in his bag, I'm talking about in his bag, that Barney bag. See what you can make today. He make everybody's life easier when you coming off that type of situation. And back to Iggy, like you were saying earlier in the pod, he's not the same Iggy like he once was. He don't have that same explosive step.
I mean, he had moments in that Boston series, but like you said, this is the NBA Finals. You know, it's a different level of intensity, especially with LeBron on the other side, as Iggy well knows. So it's going to be tough every night.
Hey, this is a legitimate question. When LeBron James left the Miami Heat back, was that 2014? When he left the Miami Heat in 2014, and Pat Riley was mad that he didn't give him a notice. I said LeBron did that to the Cavaliers, so this is nothing new. What are you doing? Pat Riley was so mad, but he didn't go as far as Dan Gilbert did. He was so mad LeBron James left from high and dry because he felt like he had a dynasty on this team.
Mm-hmm.
But
So did.
that's the part of being a free agent. I'm a free agent. I get to go anywhere I want to.
Anywhere I want.
I don't have to take a call from you or sit in your office and talk to you first. You already got me already. I know you're gonna say the same thing before. You're gonna say to me 4 years later. What you gonna do? You're gonna put the championship rings back on the table. Say, hey, Brian, we can make a run. Hey, this is what I did. Blah, blah, blah. I think you could be good. Now, if a player been somewhere 4 or 5 years, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Because at the end of the day, the thing I hate about this free agency thing, coaches and owners show their true colors when the player leaves. He should have did that. We're gonna make sure this happened. No, because I feel like when your time is up, you know your time is up in the organization, just leave. It's like going to a job every day. All right, I've been here too long, get too comfortable, gotta leave. This is the part that kicks in for me. You play for an organization about 10 years. They run you down like in NFL football. Before you can get all your skrillet, all your chickens, as Marshawn Lynch would say, if I sign a 5-year deal with the NFL, my first year is a signing bonus. Right?
Right.
The other one, the second year, is guaranteed money. I don't get my 5th year. They don't pick the 5th year of the contract up. Guess what they do for the 5th year of the contract? They trade you. So you don't need to get the other part of your $45 million. Because they get to keep it. It's a player option. It's not like the NBA where we get the player option and I pick my option up. They be mad when players pick the option up in the NBA because guess what? I picked my option up. Now I gotta trade you because guess what? I secured the bag. That's what the NFL needs. Don't players cannot secure the bag, but the NFL is charging you $300 for Sunday ticket.
Oh yeah, that's like
making money.
That's crazy.
So
and their TV deals is on steroids, right?
What? You know much money that college football and basketball missed last year for just not being for what's going. I mean, I say last year. This year, college basketball almost missed $3 billion. 3 with a B.
That's
same
crazy.
As college football the same way. I think they missed like $2 billion or $2 billion. That's a lot of dollars. Concession stands, parking lot tickets, buying a ticket, merchandise to the all-time low.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one. So Marcus. So Mike Tyson and Roy Jones are supposed to fight. I think it was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Remember we talked about it before. You know, Roy Jones came out with his little red hitter, his hit record. Y'all must have forgot. So I think he channeled back and had lay down his bed like this. I must have forgot this is Mike Tyson. Not Mike Tyson, Iron Man. He woke up.
Right. You,
He
no.
seen the same clips we was out there watching. Mike Tyson going in underwear, t-shirts, hitting his trainers too hard. He said, "Nah, man, that dude bagged out." What you gotta say about that? Was he a smart man for doing that? Or was
I'm
he
glad he
cheating?
did. I'm glad he did. like I said, we talked about it before. Like I hope he don't fight. Roy's been getting punched. He's been punch drunk since his last fight. He just been getting knocked around like a rag doll out there. Mike Tyson he older, yes, but it's Mike Tyson. Like that don't change. It don't change. He has always been unstable in the ring. At 50 years old, it make no difference. From what we saw in the videos, he still hit hard. He's still gonna try to bite ears. He's doing all of that.
Right.
Roy Jones didn't want none of those problems.
Hey, when you're looking at Mike Tyson, if you had to place it, if Vegas would have to bet how long the fight would last, do you think Roy Jones make out of the first round alive? And how many seconds or minutes would it took Mike Tyson to knock him out on the canvas? Yes, I said canvas.
I would give him 2 rounds. I just think he would have survived the first round.
You give him 2?
But the second round, nah.
I'm giving Mike Tyson the first round knockout probably 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Pay-per-view. You already knew that fight was going to be $69.95.
That would have tarnished his legacy. Roy Jones' legacy would have never been the same if he would let that happen.
All right. Man. All right. So, I wanted you to hear the clip of Kyrie Irving. Lightweight throwing shade of LeBron James. He said, "I'm finally playing with a guy that can make game winners other than me."
Mm-hmm. Man, I'll tell you that as a straight shot if I'm LeBron. That is what it is, unless he's talking about somebody from Boston. But you can't forget the Cleveland Cavaliers, where you won that ring at.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, LeBron said pass the ball to you as like a big brother, little brother thing, not like I can't make the shot. And I mean, last I checked, I think in the playoffs, LeBron holds the record, if not tied with the record of the most buzzer beaters to win a playoff game. So that's definitely a misinformed shot at LeBron. But he's right. KD can make that shot. He probably gonna be taking the majority of them next year. Not Kyrie, unfortunately.
I can't believe. Me personally, I can't believe Kyrie Irving said that. But I ain't gonna say I can't believe. I can believe that. Everybody turns to their own opinion. Like, I'm gonna sit here and say, I don't know what goes on behind them closed doors in them teams' locker rooms. I can speak only from a fan side. When you're looking at what he said, I'm looking like, we seen LeBron James' body of work. We seen yours. Okay, you were rookie of the year. Cool. We seen the making of Kyrie when he was in college for 11 games. Pretty much averaged almost 17 points before the leg injury. And ironically, he became the number 1 consistent pick in the NBA draft. At that time, he was still injured. Still at that time. So look at that person like Kyrie Irving, who making those type of comments. Slick comments said, basically talking about the organization he played for, Cleveland and Boston, they need a big shot. They call on me. Okay, understandable. That's the territory where you get paid the big bucks. You think about that. Second and foremost, you just start winning games till LeBron James came to Cleveland. And he was in Cleveland by himself for those 3 to 4 years. We was only winning between 17 to 20 games. He was smarter. I think when he was in Cleveland, I think he had a couple big games. He scored like 50 and 40 points. Yeah, it was against New York and the Apple. Everybody get their funky off every now and then. But you didn't come a true. I am going to say a true winner because wherever he played at, he was a winner then. But he didn't come that true winner once LeBron James came back to Cleveland and said, "I'm coming home." Everybody the famous speech, yada yada yada. But I just feel like shots is being thrown, his
Reckless.
reckless.
Reckless shot.
So the whole thing, Kyrie Irving, like I said, kind of lost me with that one. I'm looking at a player like LeBron James going into his 18th season once the season picked back up. 17 years, going strong. Like he ain't missed a beat. We know Father Time going to catch up with him. Father Time already caught his hair. But the whole thing is, Father Time's going to catch LeBron. But what Kyrie Irving said, I'm like, yo, you forgot that you wasn't this dude because you were rookie of the year, but he was still trying to figure out how to win games in the NBA, which he's still trying to figure out how to win now. He put himself back in that same predicament. Now playing with a tier 1A superstar in Kevin Durant. Because the top three guys in the league might be LeBron, Giannis, and Kevin Durant. A healthy Kevin Durant is probably number 2 at best.
Right.
One, whatever the argument may be.
Right. I mean, I think, you know, what you're saying, it's just going to make for an interesting next season. Brooklyn to be fully healthy. You know, they had their 3 main hitters. You know, they had Kyrie, they had Karras, they had KD. The Warriors going to be fully healthy. You know, they're going to be back to the old Warriors. They had Draymond, they had Steph, they got Clay, and they got Andrew Wiggins. The Lakers going to be there. The Clippers going to be there. Boston, Philly. You know, everybody should be healthy next year at the basically long layoffs. So we'll see. You know, all the shots he taking. You know, we'll see what happens on the court next year. You know, because it's no excuses.
All right, exactly. The only shot I'm going to say that I'm going to take at Kyrie is, since you've been traded away from Boston to Cleveland, the answer I want to know, Mr. Irvin, why haven't you suited up and played in the Cavaliers Arena, aka Rocky Field Mortgage House? Why haven't you played at Boston? I don't know what they call it now. I call it the TD Warehouse. Why hasn't he haven't played at the Garden? I'm gonna call it the Garden. Why hasn't he played at these two arenas? Are you scared to face the fans? Are you scared to get booed? Or you wait till you get your sidekick with you?
He gonna come in there with ammo.
You come in with ammo.
No, I mean, I can't blame him. So I can't really blame him for that. I mean, that's smart, but he can't be writing. He can't be, you know, doing the tongue wrestling and then, you know, standing behind security when it's time to fight.
Exactly. You can't do that because I'm looking at him like, but you never suited up and went back in Cleveland and played. You never suited up and went back to Boston and played. He knows. He played for Cleveland. He knows some diehard fans. And he played in Boston. Championship history. Diehard fans. And I'm not gonna say myself a Bostonian. I'm not a Bostonian. If I was a Bostonian or the people of Boston, they're gonna let you have them booze, or they're gonna let him have it.
Man, it ain't gonna be no easy night.
So that proved to me, can Kyrie play under pressure? Can he face the adversity?
I mean, we know he can, but that type of adversity is a little different. You know, he can play under pressure as far as, you know, pressure of the game, but from the fans, where people genuinely just don't like you. I don't think we've seen him play in those type of conditions before. So maybe he is a little afraid. Maybe that is a legitimate question.
Right. 2 things. Kyrie Irving, back when he's in Cleveland, a kid in Cleveland asked Kyrie, "Are you going to leave us?" Kyrie, I got my microphone right here. It's lit up. It'll be kind of loud. He was like, "Hey, look, man, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay." Boom. 3.5 months later, he asked for a trade out of here. And the trade was supposed to go to, I think, Phoenix. I think at the time it was for Eric Bledsoe. No. But, I'm going to put this mic down. The other trade was supposed to be, my first time I heard about it, they came out last week, that they had a deal on the table for Gary Harris and Jamal Murray to come to Cleveland with Kyrie Irving.
Oh, okay.
The Cavs said no. I said, wow, I never heard that one. Instead, that wasn't enough. I said, dude, Jamal Murray, LeBron, man, the dude's a walking bucket. We knew the other trade was for what was the other trade that Kyrie was supposed to go? I think another team said no, but eventually wound up being Boston. We got back Isaiah Thomas, and I think Jay Crowder was in that package as well. Speaking of Jay Crowder, he want to play tough man basketball against LeBron James. Where's that Jay Crowder at when we need him in Cleveland against the Golden State Warriors? That dude like he didn't know what physical basketball was.
Man, it got him traded.
Right. And
he played so poorly, got him traded.
Let me tell people this. A lot of people don't know this. If you study things like myself or Marcus, Jay Crowder was a Cavaliers draft pick too. He was a draft pick in the second round for the Cavaliers, and they traded him away to the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, I was just about to say for Dallas.
So you're looking at guys like that who always trying to play hard and tough against LeBron James. First of all, LeBron James is smart enough to not get himself a technical foul. And that's what some of these players be trying to do. Trying to get LeBron James riled up and get technical fouls. LeBron gonna outsmart you. You know what? Ain't gonna even go there with you, young fella. I'm gonna just take you to the rack and just start doing what I want to do. So when you look at that type of thing, that's the things I look at like, yo, this dude can't be stopped. He can be stopped, but how I watch the game, like, yo, dude is unreal. LeBron James. But Jay Crowder, another guy, like I said, who plays tough man basketball, don't give you nothing. Like I said, he's having a good first quarter, like I said, but he has a good first quarter all the time.
First quarter.
I don't know if he's doing a Casper slide because he just disappeared. He don't do nothing for you in that second half. And I tell people, the second half is especially in the NBA Finals, the second half is one of the most valuable halves in NBA in the NBA Finals. If you off, you off.
Mm-hmm.
So before we wrap this up, Marcus, going to game 2, Friday, you should give me your 3 keys and give me one of your X factors for both teams. 3 keys from each team and your X factor guy. And you think you step have a big game.
All right, so for I'm gonna start with Miami first. Yeah, the 3 keys for them is they gotta play with more energy. Okay. Number 1. They gotta get rid of that zone. It didn't work. Don't do it no more. Do something different than that. Mm-hmm. Number 2. Number 3, they gotta health. We know, Bam and Dragic probably ain't gonna play, but Jimmy Butler, he got that ankle. He twisted that ankle. If he's at least healthy, that's another key. Right. The X factor, I'm gonna say is Duncan Robinson. He didn't really have a good game for game 1. We know he shoot way better than that. If he, can get a couple baskets, see a couple baskets go in, I think he'll become an X factor. He can light it up. So he can make a difference. Now on the Lakers, I think their 3 keys is defense, number 1. Once Miami got to 25 points, they turned on the D, and I think they're the best defensive team in the league. So they put the clamps down. Number 2, I think it is go to AD. We know LeBron James, is the best player in the world, but AD got the mismatches. Nobody on their team that can guard him. And number 3 is the role players. Danny Green finally hit shots. Caldwell Pope finally hit threes. Both of them was on last game. Just one of them need to be on for game 2. That's all it takes. And I'm gonna stick with speaking of those 2 guys, the X factor. I'm gonna say it's Danny Green and or Caldwell Pope again.
Okay. All right. Definitely like those. I'm gonna start with the Miami Heat as well too. Like you said, number 1, I'm gonna go. They've got to be healthy. They can't lose no more dominoes in this piece. When the little domino factor go down like a Jimmy Butler, you're doomed. So number one, I'm gonna go with you on one of yours. I think number two was yours. No, that's number three. Number one, I'm gonna go healthy for the Miami Heat. They gotta come with it. They gotta stay injury free. Number two, you can live with LeBron James going off, but number two, you gotta slow down Anthony Davis.
You gotta do something about him.
You gotta slow down Anthony Davis. If you don't slow down Anthony Davis, he might go off for 40 tomorrow. Bam out there, you can book me for 40. He's getting 40 tomorrow. Number three for the Miami Heat. Like you said, they gotta come with it. They gotta play smart. They gotta go the extra mile, like you said. Throw that zone away. Man up. Man up. Because every time they go zone, they find their way somewhere, double LeBron, boom, kick open. They double AD, boom, kick it open for three. That's their whole part. And the X Factor tomorrow, I'm not going to say Tyler Hero's an X Factor now. Because everybody know who he is now. The X Factor tomorrow is going to be Kendrick Nunn.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was going to go with him, but
the reason I'm saying Kendrick Nunn is now he goes from the bench, he's going to get inserted into the starting role.
Mm-hmm.
If the young man can give you 17 points, the Lakers could be in trouble tomorrow in that game too. Because if Kendrick Nunn scores 17 plus, and Tyler Hero get off, Lakers gonna be in trouble because that young man, both them guys can score. Kendrick Nunn can score. Like I said, I wrote an article piece on them way before the pandemic happened. That was one of the teams to watch out for to make a run at this.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might say this dude lying. I actually wrote a piece. It's up on the website. It's up on our Instagram page and stuff like that, Twitter page. I wrote an article on these teams.
Yep, these are facts.
Tyler Hero, baller. Duncan Robinson, baller. Like I said, my X factor is Kendrick Nunn. If he scores 17 points, folks, and the other person get off, Tyler Hero, could be a long night for the Lakers. Going to the Lakers. All right. These are my three keys. X factor is Frank Vogel.
Okay.
So I didn't see this coming.
Mm-mm.
His substitution rotation is horrible.
All right.
I know people like, yo, he ain't saying nothing. I'm lost for words. It's horrible. If Miami sit down Jimmy Butler, you sit down Brown. If they sit down Bam, you sit down AD. Give your guys a break. Let them catch their breath. Okay, when you feel like the game is out of hand or getting where you don't want to go, then you make those type of substitutions. I don't understand his rotation sometimes. Because yesterday, he had a rotation out there with Caruso, Rondo, Marquise Morris, and Danny Green, Dwight Howard. Where are you getting scoring from?
You don't know. Well, I don't know. I remember that lineup being out there. I scratched my head when I didn't see LeBron or AD myself. But I can't remember the score. I don't know how close it was or what. Maybe that was a refrigerator lineup. That's like, hey, we gonna get these guys some run.
then he had me puzzled because I'm watching the game. He had Kuzma out there with Marquise Morris, Caruso, and Rondo, and Dwight Howard. I said, dude, Frank Vogel, what's wrong with your rotations? If you're gonna throw Dwight Howard out there, you throw AD out there. At least give you another scorer, somebody that can move around. Marquise Morris only good as his first shot.
Right.
I don't know how good Kuzma is after his first shot because sometimes he'd be looking lost. I was like, he had no clue what's going on. I know what Caruso is going to give me, and I know what Rondo going to give me. People are leaving Rondo open, and he's been cashing in threes.
Playoff Rondo out there. They better recognize.
Frank Vogel.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely got to do better in his rotation. Number two, can the bench players and role players play at that same magnitude?
Mhm. True.
Number 3, can the Lakers? I text my one home. I text you too. I said the Lakers playing physical. They finally playing physical. Can they keep up with that? And my X factor for the Lakers tomorrow, believe it or not, I'm going to say right now, the X factor so far been Alex Caruso, making it kind of hard for Tyler Hero to score. He's not getting them looks like how you want to. So that's my X factor. Alex Caruso been setting the tone. I've been telling everybody in the playoffs, I said that Alex Caruso and LeBron James little hookup on the fast break is no joke.
All right, and they got a real solid connection. Him and Caruso.
It's
Caruso got game though.
Yeah, he do. It's
I
a
can't deny it.
upgraded Matthew Dellavedova.
That's perfect. That's exactly what it is. And a deli on steroids.
Definitely on steroids. And, you know, when he was at Texas Tech, he led a team in rebounding, assists, and steals. So he give you that nasty. And he's no little 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm.
He can dribble. He can score. I don't like how he go to the cup. He's not scared.
All right, he going to punch it every time.
And LeBron, if you watching this, you gotta find my boy Caruso a handshake. Quinn Cook got a handshake. He don't even get in the game.
Caruso need one. I mean,
is this thing going? Hey, don't be surprised if Quinn Cook wind up in Brooklyn Nets playing with his homeboy KD.
He probably is. Oh, you know what? That just made me think of something. Speaking of people playing, you know, since Quinn Cook don't play, is Deion Waiters hurt? He got injury. He's sick.
No.
They need to let that man get some run, man. This is his former team. They need to put him in the lineup. I mean, even if it's 2 minutes.
Hey, that boy Deion Waiters, it don't matter who wins. I get a ring regardless.
He's
not saying no.
Right. He's a champion.
He's a champion either way it go.
Right.
I'm out there in street clothes and the platinum chain. But tomorrow, Marcus, kid you not, we see a J.R. Smith sighting early.
If we see J.R. Smith early, that means the Miami Heat have rolled over. Have rolled over and died. If we see J.R. Smith.
I know we forgot. Allen Iverson.
Oh, yeah.
Podcast.
He gave us some
figure out
clickbait.
who he was talking about.
Yeah.
I text you. I said I thought it was Dan Levitar and Poppy. I was like, nah. I think he was talking about Marcellus Whitlock. Not the football player, the big dude, the LeBron James hater. Him. AI was going off. And people feel like AI should have went there.
He's getting off his chest. It's the Up and Smoke podcast. That's what you do.
Right. Somebody's like, you think Iverson went there? I said, hell yeah, he should have went there. I said, you got a guy out here who probably never played no sports in his life as a commentator, about 300 plus pounds, and always trying to rag on people's game. And I'm telling them about what they should and should not do. Then Charles Barkley had the audacity to come out and defend Marcellus Whitlock. So I'm looking at, Charles Barkley. Man, it was funny because Stephen, I'm not going to say Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen Jackson called him Chump Barkley.
Chuck Barkley. Big Chuck.
Like, because the stuff that they be saying, especially Charles Barkley be saying, it doesn't sit well with the people, especially the black community. I don't want to try to make this all political, but I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back to what was his name? Marcus or Marcellus Whitlock. That dude been talking left the whole time about the Kaepernick situation. Mm-hmm. All this. Talking about the black athlete. He's black himself.
It's Jason. It's Jason.
Jason. Okay, my bad. Jason Whitlock. That's even bad because I don't even like. I don't even like him. Just because it ain't just because what the players been saying. It's because when I sit there and watch TV, he's on there to speak for yourself. big old man wearing a little hat on TV, his little fedoras, and he get the audacity to talk about that these players not that good and blah blah blah. Dude, you like you never went on the court and did half the things that these athletes did. So you can't sit here and talk about what he should be doing, that he ain't this great, he ain't the GOAT. Oh, once you can, you go out there and pork chops and suit up and go out there and get 2 points. Because the biggest man in the NBA, Oliver Pig Miller, he wouldn't even give him buckets. So when Iverson went off the handle, I feel Allen Iverson. You gotta get stuff off your chest because Jason Whitlock, I kept calling him Marcellus because I was thinking about my boy Marcellus Wiley that come on
Wiley.
TV.
Yeah.
You know, Jason Whitlock just be shading anybody. Like he I think he's beyond Skip Bayless.
I mean, AI even said it wasn't Skip, so
Right.
I mean,
I got love for you, Skip. He already let it be known. He said, you know who you are out there, man. I was at work, like, man, I was trying to guess who it is. Like, he said, your son too. I was like, huh? The first thing that came in my head, like I said, I texted, I thought it was Dan Libertar and Poppy, but it wasn't them. According to some people out there, it's Jason Whitlock. That's why he don't have a job now. I don't know who he works for. He probably works for someone, but I haven't seen him on main TV.
Yeah, so I just did some quick research to see, why AI may not like him. So Jason Whitlock wrote a story about AI, basically saying that he destroyed American society. So I think Jason Whitlock is a pretty good guess. I think he's a pretty good guess.
Wow. Hold on. He said Allen Iverson destroyed the American society, folks. You hear this? The American society. So, in hindsight, Jason Whitlock basically saying Allen Iverson got people wearing got tattoos, braids, and baggy clothes, right?
Right.
That always been part of our culture. Braids been part of the culture. Black people always dress like that. That's the culture of an African American male. Braids. Some people still wear their clothes baggy. That's the culture. And Allen Iverson never changed. Now, what's so funny though? Because I see Allen Iverson. He comes in our store probably once a week.
Oh, for real?
Real talk. I mean, he put like this, man. AI, different guy. But if you see him, he gonna throw you the deuces. He don't change. He himself. That's why people like him.
Right.
Oh, the kid Mr. said we're gonna wear suits. Guess what AI did? All right, we're gonna wear suits. AI had a baggy suit on. Still came out there and gave you 40.
Right.
It's still, I don't care what clothes you put on your back. You still Marcus Thompson.
Right.
I'm still Dante. Clothes don't change you. All right, we're gonna wear dress code. Now they soften the dress code up. Players put their own twist onto it. Allen Iverson is a reason why a lot of guys in the NBA wear cornrows.
Right.
Tattoos.
Reason for everything. A lot of
He's
things.
An icon. He's an icon.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people like AI. He's the 6'2", 6'3" point guard. Scoring guard at that. It ain't too many guards that can play with 9 different injuries. 9. Yes, 9 different injuries. Went to the NBA Finals. Won the regular season MVP. Went through some obstacles in the Eastern Conference. Led that team. Like I tell people can't even name the starting lineup of that Sixers team. Look, my phone is right here. My phone is off. My phone is off. Mutombo was at center. AI.
Okay.
Eric Snow.
There you go.
George Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
And Jermaine Jones.
JJ. I think that's
Jermaine
right.
Jones came to Philadelphia by the way, trade from the Cleveland Cavaliers.
It was Aaron McKee, was he off the
Aaron
bench?
McKee came off that bench.
Okay.
Tom McCullough at that time. No, Tom McCullough wasn't starting. Mutombo, I think, was the game. I think when they started getting out like 2-3 games to nothing, that's when Mutombo started starting. But Tom McCullough started the first couple of games because he had to find his way back. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
You had who else they had on that team? Rajah Bell, Matt Geiger. So when you looking at that team that Irish and led to the NBA Finals, man, what? What? Are you kidding me? Can you name? No, I'm getting angry because can you name one damn point guard right now in this damn NBA, a point guard right now that can lead that team to a championship right now? Don't tell me LeBron James and people say that's point forward. A point guard.
Championship in the league right now.
Can you name one has led the team to an NBA champion that led themselves to a finals appearance?
I can't name one, but the only person I'd say is close to that got close to doing that was Chris Paul, but
he's the only one. But
other than that,
finals appearance. I'm glad you said
that's a
Chris
shame.
Paul. Man,
That's
I
a
didn't
shame.
talk about Chris Paul, man. I'm like, Chris Paul is my dog. The reason I'm saying that, every team Chris Paul played for, Marcus, I don't even want to be on this all night. This can go on for all night, but we got to end this. We got to do this talk another day. But one thing before we talk about Chris Paul, he is the most underrated, unappreciated, satisfied superstar that we have in this league. Every team that Chris Paul played for was sorry teams. He turned those sorry teams around to playoff teams.
Like overnight almost. He's like on par with LeBron James. I think had he been 2 or 3 inches taller, he would have been in the finals.
Man, hold on. You said 2 or 3 inches taller.
Yeah.
Man, imagine AI 6'5".
Right.
6'6".
That's the problem.
You think he was getting 40. That man probably be getting 50, 60. Hey, man. AI is a GOAT. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, some people he might not be a GOAT because, like I tell people, championship rings doesn't define how great you are. It's a team accomplishment at the end of the day. Until people finally figure out that in sports, championship rings don't make you a GOAT or a great player. Because find me a man out there that's going to average 100 points, that can get 100 points besides Wilt Chamberlain. You don't never look at the stat sheet and say, damn, Kobe scored 150 points. What was the final score? 149-82. He didn't go out there and score 150 points by himself. It's a team. It's a unit.
15 man. 5 on the floor.
That's why I always say LeBron. Yeah, LeBron should be pissed he get the MVP. Because he did that. He's on that 35. Who will be 36 in a couple months.
Year 17.
Ain't too many guys can do that. Because my whole argument was they said the East was weak when LeBron was getting MVPs. He's still weak.
Now in the West, number 1 seed, about to win another championship.
Hold on, I got a book over here that says LeBron James in the Western Conference. The later years, it said, can LeBron James lead his Lakers team to an NBA Finals appearance or playoff appearance? And at best, the book said the LeBron James team would be seeded no lower than 7 or 6 seeded team. A LeBron James team never been that lower seeded. I think the lowest he ever been, I think I was a 3 at the most.
Wow. Yeah, I have to research that. I think that's accurate, though.
So,
I'm trying to think of that first year in Cleveland, 2015. What was they seeded? I think it was 3. I think you're right. I think it was 3.
Because I think 1 year with Boston, when they finally beat Boston, I think Boston like number 1 seed. They was like number 3.
Yeah, I think it was Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta was number 1, and maybe the Cavs number 2. Hey, I know 1 year Atlanta was, and then in the playoffs they swept them. Then the next year was Toronto. Then they swept. They swept them.
You know, I mean, LeBron James can probably be one of them guys like Kobe. Let's be honest. Kobe, man, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But the fans came out of nowhere cheering for Kobe Bryant. You know, a lot of people didn't like Kobe Bryant. And so I don't like to talk about people past. He's not here to defend himself. But as a player, people didn't like Kobe like that. They say he was mocking Jordan. Or he trying to be like MJ. Man, let's cut the games. This is it tonight. Let's cut the games. What kid that grew up in that era didn't idolize Michael Jordan? Who tried to play like Michael Jordan? Who tried to rid of calf sleeve, his socks, chew gum like him, even get a ball head? Kobe Bryant's one of the ones who went home and studied him. When I say study him, he studied him like he was in the textbook. He perfected Michael Jordan craft.
Absolutely.
So every player tried to be like MJ. Players right to this day. Wear his number. Right to this day. LeBron, Lou Williams. And let's go on and on.
It's a long one.
Jason Richardson, who played in the league, who won a dunk contest. These dudes mimic Michael Jordan. So when people were saying all this negative stuff about LeBron James and Kobe Bryant and the AIs, these guys respect Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was that guy that you come home in the summertime, you turn the TV on, you knew he was going to be in the finals. You knew he was going to take a game when it shot. How many people went in their backyard, their bedrooms, and did the countdown from 3 to 1? And a lot of people missed the shot and kept doing it over and over till they make it in their backyard. Just perfected that. That's what Michael Jordan brings to the game for these guys who's behind him. So, on that note, Marcus, I ain't got nothing to say.
Okay. I think that's it.
This is LeBron James with the ring on. We coming for it. We getting four.
Four.
So, like you said, tomorrow, I think we said it early in the pod. Who you going to tomorrow night to win this game?
I'm going with the Lakers. I think Miami will win maybe one game. You know, I think it's only fitting that the Lakers win every series 4-1. So I think Miami will win one game. I don't think it's tomorrow though. I think they win game 3 when guys are a little more healthy.
Look, I picked the Lakers to win the other night by 10. If they got no Bam or no Goran Dragic, I like the odds tomorrow for the Lakers. Like I said, my heart keep telling me 4. My brain was saying Lakers in 5. I'm going with the heart. Give me the Lakers in 4.
Okay.
And AD dropping 40.
40 piece.
Give me the Lakers to win this game tomorrow night by 17.
Ooh. That's a confidence grade. If they win by 17, then I'll change my thing and my prediction to 4-2. Because in playoffs, you may get blown out one game, but the next game you come back. But you get outblown 2 games in a row. It's a wrap.
Nope, they don't have a rim protector. Lakers got 3 of them. I'm gonna say 4.
They got AD, they got Dwight, they got
and
JaVale McGee. And
guess what, folks? This is After Hours Live from the Man Cave. This is your host, Tay Wiggs.
This is your co-host, Marc Sr.
Man, we out of here. Peace.
Peace.